If you think you know everything about the 1776 to 1976 United States Bicentennial Eisenhower $1 coin, then brace yourself, because what I am about to reveal to you today is going to absolutely shatter everything you thought you knew about this legendary piece of American history, sitting silently and potentially worth a jaw-dropping fortune right inside your pocket, your drawer, your grandfather's old coin jar, or buried inside that dusty shoebox tucked away in the back of your closet. And I promise you, by the time this video is over, you are going to be sprinting to every corner of your home, tearing open every forgotten drawer, ripping through every old wallet, because the shocking truth about this coin, the secrets, the buried history, the explosive auction records, and the insane mind-bending rarity of certain versions of this dollar coin is something that the mainstream world almost entirely overlooks. And that oversight could be costing you hundreds, thousands, or in the most electrifying case of all, nearly $1 million. Yes, you heard that absolutely right. Nearly $1 million for a single $1 coin. And we are going to talk about every single jaw-dropping detail today. So let us go all the way back to the very beginning, because understanding the thunderous historical foundation of this coin is what makes its story so utterly breathtaking. And so, let us travel back to the year 1776, a year that changed the entire course of human civilization. A year that shook the world to its core. A year when the 13 American colonies stood up against the most powerful empire on the face of the earth and declared with fire in their hearts and steel in their eyes that all men are created equal, that they are endowed with certain unalienable rights, and that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And on July 4th, 1776, the Declaration of Independence was signed, and the militant United States of America was born out of blood sacrifice, suffering, and an unshakable belief in freedom and dignity. And fast forward exactly 200 electrifying years to 1976, and the entire nation of America was on fire with celebration, because the country was turning 200 years old. The bicentennial of American independence was an occasion so monumental, so historically colossal, so deeply emotional for every single American, that the government knew it had to do something truly extraordinary to commemorate this once-in-a-two milestone. And so the United States Congress, acting on the recommendation that had been building since as far back as 1966, when the American Revolutionary Bicentennial Commission was first established, authorized something that had never been done before. In the history of circulating American coinage, they redesigned not one, but three denominations of American coins: the oak, quarter, the half-dollar, and the $1 coin, and they gave them all a spectacular special reverse design and a dual date reading, 1776-1976, making these the first and only circulating United States coins in all of American numismatic history to carry two dates simultaneously, and that single stunning fact alone makes this coin historically unique in a way that no other circulating coin in America has ever been. And that is where our story truly explodes into something magnificent, because this was not just any ordinary commemorative gesture. This was a national declaration, stamped permanently into metal, a celebration of 2 centuries of American liberty pressed between your fingers every single day, and the government took this responsibility deadly seriously. Now let us talk about the man whose face graces the obverse of this magnificent coin, because you absolutely cannot tell the story of the Eisenhower dollar without talking about the towering giant of history whose portrait dominates the front of every single one of these coins. Dwight David Eisenhower, the 34th President of the United States, the Supreme Commander of Allied forces in Europe during World War II, the architect of the D-Day invasion at Normandy, one of the most consequential and celebrated military and political leaders in all of American, and indeed, world history, a man who led the liberation of an entire continent from the grip of Nazi tyranny, and who then went on to lead his country through some of the most pivotal years of the 20th century. Eisenhower passed away in March of 19, and almost immediately the push began in Congress to honor his extraordinary legacy on a United States coin, and that push succeeded, and the Eisenhower Dollar series was born in 1971, becoming the first large-size American dollar coin issued since the Peace Dollar series ended all the way back in 1935. A stunning 36-year gap in large dollar coin production, and the obverse design was crafted by Frank Gasparo, the chief engraver of the United States. Mint, an absolutely masterful artist, who based his portrait of Eisenhower on a sketch he had personally made from life at a post-World War II parade, giving the portrait an authenticity and intimacy that you simply cannot manufacture in Espanol. Placed Eisenhower's strong left-face profile on the obverse with the word liberty arching majestically along the upper edge, and the national motto, "In God We Trust," appearing beneath Eisenhower's chin, and Gasparo's own initials, FG, appear at the truncation of the neck, and for the regular non-bicentennial Eisenhower dollars. The reverse depicted a stylized eagle landing on the moon, inspired by and based directly on the mission. Patch, designed by astronaut Michael Collins for the Apollo 11 moon landing of 1969, linking in one single coin two of the most extraordinary moments in American history. The presidency of one of its greatest leaders and the moment humanity first set foot on another world, and then came 1973, and the legislative wheels began turning for the bicentennial redesign, and on October 18, 1973, President Richard Nixon signed into law the authorization for the special bicentennial coinage, declaring that all coins of the quarter, half dollar, and dollar denominations minted for delivery after July 4, 1975, and before December 31, 1976, would bear special redesigned reverses and also carry the stunning dual date, 1776 to 1976, and on that same day, October 18, 1973, the United States Mint launched an absolutely extraordinary open design competition, inviting artists from across the entire country to submit new reverse designs for all three bicentennial coins, with the staggering incentive of a $5,000 prize for each winning design. And what happened next is one of the most heartwarming and astonishing stories in the entire history of American coinage, because the winner of the Eisenhower Dollar reverse design competition was not a seasoned veteran of the numismatic world, not a professional coin engraver, not a famous sculptor, but a 22-year-old art student named Dennis R. Williams, who was studying at the Columbus College of Art and Design in Ohio. And the absolutely electrifying detail here is that Williams's winning design had actually started as a simple class assignment given to him by his college instructor. And what he created out of that classroom exercise became permanently immortalized on hundreds of millions of American coins. A design so beautiful, so symbolically powerful, so historically resonant that it was chosen from a nationwide competition as the face of the nation's most important commemorative coinage, and the design was announced to the public on March 7, 1974, when Mint director Mary Brooks appeared on NBC's Today Show to unveil the winning designs to the American people. And Dennis Williams received his $5,000 prize, and his name was forever written into the history books as the youngest person in United States history to have a design featured on circulating American coinage, and his reverse design is nothing short of spectacular. It shows the Liberty Bell, one of the most iconic symbols of American freedom and independence, superimposed against the moon, with a cratered lunar surface visible behind it, creating this breathtaking fusion of America's revolutionary founding spirit with its greatest modern achievement. The Apollo 11 moon landing, and the design connects 2 centuries of American greatness in a single image. The birth of a free nation in 1776, and the moment humanity reached beyond the bounds of Earth in 1969, and the national motto, E pluribus unum, appears to the right of the Liberty Bell and Williams's own initials. DRW can be seen directly below the bottom edge of the Liberty Bell, and the inscriptions United States of America arch across the top, and $1 curves along the bottom, separated by 2 small stars, and the whole composition is a masterpiece of symbolic storytelling. Pressed into metal now, here is something that absolutely blows the minds of most people when they first hear it, and I want you to really let this sink in, because it changes your understanding of everything about this coin. There are no dollar coins dated 1975, none, 0, not a single one. And the reason for this is both practical and poetic, because the Mint wanted to maximize the production window for the special bicentennial coins. So, rather than splitting production between a 1975 dated regular coin and a 1976 dated bicentennial coin, they made the bold decision that all dollar coins struck during 1975 and 1976 would carry the dual date, 1776 to 1976. And so if you have a coin dated 1775 or 1975, on a so-called bicentennial dollar, then something is very wrong, because that coin simply does not exist in legitimate United States Mint production. And the practical result of this decision was an enormous production run that began in February 1975, with the silver pieces starting production at the San Francisco Mint beginning April 23, 1975, and the first bicentennial dollars were released into general circulation on October 13, 1975.